Yahweh and good evening from the Marshall Islands. Iman menodandi kile kamololani chemerujila. Kile rudarroarilu manu kabulukieneo. Kile pumujawale. Joga wada furi penale. Aginay pagdo nanchiringina agustilo kajinuchuan. Enodarui awalip chale innolewede elungri matat rapuwadulu jodine. Project nolele kinkajininad. It is an honor to join you this evening as you gather in solidarity to mark a solemn milestone in our national history. 80 years since the first nuclear weapon was tested in our beloved Marshall Islands. Though I regret not being with you in person, I am grateful for this opportunity to stand with you in spirit as we remember, reflect, and reaffirm our commitment to truth, healing, and peace. Before war reached the Pacific, our islands were places of peace, abundance, and deep connection. Families lived in harmony with the land and ocean, sustained by fishing, farming, and knowledge passed down through generations. Children played freely, and our people navigated the vast Pacific with skills passed down through generations. These islands were not just home, they were the foundation of our identity and way of life. As the northernmost atolls, Bikini and Eniweather were renowned for master navigation and canoe building. Rongoat hosted one of region's last traditional navigational schools. Communities thrived from the land and sea until everything changed in 1946. As the world entered an era of nuclear competition, our islands became the proving ground for increasingly powerful weapons, and our people were forced to bear the human cost. On July 1st, 1946, the Marshall Islands entered a new and uncertain chapter in its human history. What followed was not simply a 12-year testing program ending in 1958. It was the beginning of a struggle that continues to this day. 1 year after the first test, the United Nations established the Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands, placing the Marshall Islands under U.S. administration with the responsibility to safeguard our people. Yet petitions from Marshallese leaders urging an end to testing went unanswered. 80 years later, our 7 remaining survivors from the original displaced 167 people of Bikini continue to live in exile. Communities remain displaced. Families have had to adapt to overcrowding, dependence on imported food, and limited resources. One of our greatest losses is the inability to pass down traditional knowledge of navigation and canoe building. The full health legacy of nuclear testing also continues to unfold. Radiation exposure created a complex web of illnesses and long-term impacts on physical, emotional, and cultural well-being. I encourage you to learn more about Project 4.1, where exposed men, women, and children became unwitting subjects of radiation studies, one of the most troubling chapters of this history. For many around the world, nuclear testing is history. For Marshallese people, it remains a lived reality. I want to acknowledge the Marshallese diaspora in Arkansas, across the United States, and around the world. Your gathering tonight shows that identity is carried not only by geography, but by shared stories, values, and commitment. Your presence is a powerful testament to our unity. Though the path toward justice has been long and often upbreaking, we have never given up. From petitions to the United Nations to the fight for recognition during independence, our leaders and survivors have carried this story forward. Looking ahead, we cannot remain silent. Time does not diminish our responsibility to seek truth or erase the unanswered questions surrounding the nuclear legacy. We look forward to the findings of ongoing independent scientific studies, including the 2025 Greenpeace mission and the Pacific Islands Forum's preliminary independent study. These efforts may reveal new information about environmental conditions and impacts not fully understood when earlier agreements were negotiated. We also anticipate the forthcoming report from the UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, informed in part by consultations held in Arkansas last year. We continue to support initiatives that preserve survivor stories and educate future generations through schools, community outreach, and plans for a National Nuclear Legacy Museum. Your government remains committed to advancing a revised change circumstances notation that reflects new evidence and ensures the full extent of the nuclear legacy is acknowledged and embraced so future generations inherit a path toward justice and healing. You are the voices needed for the next chapter. By learning and sharing your history, you ensure the world hears our truth. Though many of you were born long after the last test, this history belongs to you. You are the next generation of storytellers, educators, advocates, scientists, artists, and leaders carrying forward not the burden of the past, but its lessons. In closing, I thank the Marshallese Educational Initiative for organizing this evening of remembrance, reflection, culture, and solidarity. This gathering brings hope as it honors the resilience of our people through music, art, storytelling, and community. Kumultada, and may God bless us all, and may God bless the Republic of the Marshall Islands.